Good morning, people. Um, I found out something yesterday that kind of irritated me a little bit. I always thought that the functionality that was in Orca Slicer more or less also worked in uh, Bambu Studio because they look so similar. But I have found some things to be not the same, and of course the menus are different. But one thing I always assumed was the same was the fact that you can import parts in relation to where you exported them in, for instance, Fusion 360. And I even made a video on this showing it, but I only actually in that video showed it since I did it in Orca Slicer. Turns out it's not possible in Bambu Studio, and that irritates me because it's such a simple feature. I don't know why that specific reason feature should be such a problem. So I'm going to first show you how I do it in Orca Slicer. So I'll start Orca Slicer here. Give me a second. So I have these spool adapters here I'm working on, and then let's say I want to make a new project and I want to import that part. So I have that in two parts. This is a solid tip because I want to print with a prime tower, so I'm going to change the color of the tip. Sorry. So we import the main bolt. That's fine. This is Orca Slicer, just so you know. And then you have this feature where you can mark it and you can right click and you can select add part and load, and then you can select whatever is exported on top. This one. And I'm just gonna fix that because there is a small defect in it. So the thing here is that in Orca Slicer you can import them like this, and they will have the XYZ axis relations that they had with within Fusion 360. Let's see. I'm just going to start Fusion as well. So here I have Fusion 360 and I have the model, and this is the tip. And when I go to the print feature, preprint, and I can select the quality of the export, and then I save it as a file. It will keep the X, Y, and Z relation according to the object it was imported from, which again makes it possible to go into Orca Slicer and import the model like this. So if I had a piece that was sort of insert here on the side of the model at this space, I could easily import it because it would remember the specific place in the geometry. Now this feature looks exactly the same in Bambu Studio. So here I have started Bambu Studio and I can make a new design just like this, and then I try to do the exact same thing with the exact same models. So I go and I add the part, so I take the main one first like you would normally do, and then I mark it and right click and add part, and I select the tip and click open. And this happens. It doesn't import it on top of the other model, it imports it on the side. And some might say, oh, it's because you haven't prepared it, but that's not it. It still wouldn't import it correctly. So apparently in Bambu Studio you cannot import parts in the relation like this. So there are a few ways to get around this if you're using Bambu Studio. The easiest one, but which I wouldn't use myself, is to export the model using the old Fusion 360 export function, because all visible objects then become exported. If you use the print function in Fusion 360, you can only do one object at a time. So if I go to here and I select export, I cannot select like the other one. I cannot select that it should have a much finer resolution. So if I then export it, let's see, I just call it all parts, and then I export it, and then I open Fusion 360 instead. No, sorry, open Bambu Studio again. If I now go and see, I think it's here. Where on earth did it put it? I placed it in all parts. Sorry, I forgot to change the format when I exported it. It's early in the morning, sorry guys. Export, and then of course I need to change to STL. There, now it comes out correctly. When you export it like this, it exports both parts as one part, but it's still separated, so you can split them when you get them into. So now I'm back into Bambu Studio, and now we can click the part. You can load the STL like this. You can see the tip is there, but now you can take split and two parts, and now it's remaining in place, but you also have two parts, you can see. And that's how you can do it if you export it. But if you can see down here, you can see it exported it with low polygons. So I wish Fusion 360 could have that feature to export or let you change how many polygons you want to export with a multi-model STL file. Now, the other way to do this would be to either use an STL file or a 3MF file from Orca Slicer. So if you go into, you can tell by Orca Slicer has like faded green, and Bambu Studio has the other. So you can go in here, you can select the model, like go into objects here, you can mark the one containing both of the objects, and then you can select export as one STL. I don't know about how the resolution is when you do that, but that is one way to do it. Then it comes out as two objects fused into one, and then you can split it. So I did that before. I have the file here. Go back to Bambu Studio. See, this is the one. You can see it has both parts, and then I can right click. This is one I exported from Orca Slicer earlier. And then you can just take that and you can split it to parts. As you can see, that works too. The other way, which I think would better contain the quality of the model, is if you import the 3MF file. So in this case, I have exported in here. I have a cough today. I'm sorry, guys. I have the model, and then go to File and Save As, and you save it as a separate STL file. No, a separate 3MF file. Test, for instance. And then you go to today. You're getting to see all my funny faces today. Yeah, so I go back to Bambu Studio, and then you can click Add Part, and you can in Bambu Studio you actually, I think you have to click here and you have to do a star and enter to see all the parts. Oh no, it supports 3MF, sorry. So you select the file and you select Open. Now it opens the file. But if you have something else, let's say I'm just going to put it to the side. If you have something else on the build plate already and you don't want to ruin it, you can still use the same function, Add Part, and then it will give you this window. Do you wish to open it as a project or import geometry? You select Import Geometry. And now it will use a higher resolution because it's bringing in the raw file of the 3MF file as it has it. So it would be the same quality as in Orca Slicer. And again, you can just right click that, split, and okay. Oh, I learn something new every day. Yeah. Bambu Studio didn't like that. I really thought I could do that because I managed to do it earlier, but I didn't try to split it. So then you only have one way. You have to split it, export it either from Fusion 360 as two objects in one STL file, or you have to bring it into Orca Slicer and then export it as one STL file, and then you have to split it. Because if you try to import the geometry only, that will not work. What you could probably do, maybe, let's test that. This one, right click. No, wait. Add. Import geometry only. Ah! It can't split it because it's already split. Look. These are the two files. So you can use the 3MF file as well. Sorry for the confusion, guys. It's early in the morning. What can I say? So it's actually split already when you import it as a 3MF file. That's why it didn't show the split apart. So yeah, you can do it as a 3MF file as well, and then obviously with higher polygon count. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys that there are some features that are harder to do in Bambu Studio, but still possible. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.